This is the BEnergyAware Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the BEnergyAware Podcast. Please support the podcast by buying the Get Empowered audiobook and by joining our community on Patreon. You can find a link to both in the description of this episode. Everyone knows what it feels like to be misunderstood and has felt it at some point in their life. And if you're a highly sensitive person, being misunderstood is something you're probably used to living with daily. Unless you have surrounded yourself with people that can truly understand you in your private life, your social life, and maybe even in your work life. And to be able to do that is something that comes as a result of understanding where and how the highly sensitive trait plays out in your own life. Some people naturally pick up on your sensitivity, but some do not know how to read it right and might think that, depending of course on a particular situation you find yourself in, well, to them perhaps you seem shy or not too social, or some might even perceive you as arrogant, or they might draw a conclusion that, for example, you think you're better than them, and many other different things that are not quite true. And if they're having a hard time understanding these more simple things and making the wrong conclusions, then how could they possibly even try to understand the subtle little things you bring as a highly sensitive person that are totally unique to you? Well, they may not be able to understand you fully, but some things you could still be able to explain. Like about what highly sensitive trait, that is, sensory processing sensitivity, is, and what it means, at least in a nutshell, to be a highly sensitive person. Sometimes it's a good thing to let some people know about it. And yes, you need to make your own assessment about when to do so and when not to do so. For me, now when I look back at all those times when I was totally misunderstood by absolutely everyone around me, I sometimes think that I was actually lucky in a way, in that I didn't have the awareness that I have today. Because sometimes it's just not worth explaining anything. But when it comes to the feeling of being misunderstood, the feeling of being misunderstood, to me, is a feeling of being alone, all by myself, in a world that seems all wrong. That's right. And luckily today I also have the awareness that this world is changing for the better, and that I have a chance of contributing to that in my own unique way. There is hope that my gifts and my uniqueness will be accepted, appreciated, and welcomed. For all those times of being misunderstood and feeling alone, I now have a fresh new perspective. I'm letting the past be the past, and I know that it's really up to me to create a better future. If there is any old hurt or pain or sadness still inside of me that's connected to any past events when I was being misunderstood or when I felt totally alone, I let go of it now, knowing it will all be okay. There's a certain heaviness that I'm feeling right now. It's a burden I don't have to carry anymore, and I'm happy about that. If you have anything you want to share about feeling misunderstood or feeling alone, let me know. Get in touch with me through Instagram at BEnergyAware or through my website, BEnergyAware.com. Leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, as always, means a lot to me. And of course, please share this podcast with your friends. I'm Bran, your host, and I'll talk to you next time.